It's a beautiful day for baseball here at the Almond Road campus for Game 2 of a two-game conference set between the Stevenson Patriots and the Warren Blue Devils. Welcome in, everybody. Nick Palazzolo along once again with you. It is for a glorious day of Blue Devil baseball on your home for Blue Devil baseball, the Blue Devil Radio Network. Before we get to your lineups, as Stevenson takes their infield and outfield, let's recap yesterday's game. Blue Devils won 13-8 in 7 innings last night at Stevenson High School. Game seemed to have a little bit of everything. We had home runs, we had some rules questions, we had a little bit of bad defense, we had some strikeouts, we had infield hits, we had suicide squeezes. We had it all telling us that Stevenson and Warren will once again live up to the hype. Warren took the lead in the 5th inning thanks to a 7-run half inning, putting them away, but Stevenson did in fact rally in the 7th inning off of Warren relievers KT Brown and Landon Theron, putting up a 5 spot. So it was 13-3 going into the 7th inning. Blue Devils finished with the victory 13-8. Stevenson and Warren have played highly contested games over the last calendar year. Last year they split the conference series 1-1. Stevenson winning 4-1 in the first game of the series at Stevenson, and then Warren taking game 2 5-4. Thanks to a Tony Font walk-off bunt, but those weren't even the best games of the year. It was a regional championship right here at the Almond Road campus where the Blue Devils played as the road team against Stevenson at the Almond campus due to playoff seeding. That game was 3.5 hours long. It was 10 innings. Blue Devils won 11-9. Adam Schills, the now senior, then a junior, hit a go-ahead 2-run single in the top half of the 10th inning. Kyle Smith had a 3-run shot in the top half of the 7th inning with Warren down 4 to tie things up in the 7th. Jeremy Walton also hit a home run. Kendall Lyons started that game for the Blue Devils, the UIC pitcher, now playing collegiately. He only threw 1 inning, was taken out during injury, and Aaron Jersold and Derek Yan took over in relief for the last 9 innings. We will get you to starting lineups and a little bit right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network next. As we get ready here for baseball on a glorious 77-degree day here at the Allman campus, let's start with the Blue Devils defensively left to right. You have the three Bs in the outfield, Beardman, Badgley, and Bender left to right. Jaquez, Shills, Font, and Clark third to first on the infield. Senior Jake Hall doing the catching for today's starting pitcher is Adam Behrens. Behrens will face this starting lineup for the Stevenson Patriots. Nelson, Schmidtke, and Richardson. The first three due up, followed by Iannuzzi, Belbit, and Morelli. Schultz, DeLonga, and Fawcett round out the nine for the Stevenson Patriots. Stevenson's pitcher is Brett Gaynor. Few of you may recall Gaynor helped pitch in the regional championship last year against Warren. We'll get more on him in a second. Adam Behrens 2-0 on the young season. 17 innings pitched. All four games he has appeared in have been starts. He's faced 72 batters, throws a strike on average 63% of the time, sporting a 3.29 ERA. A lot of people think ERA is a little bit overrated, so for you advanced analytics people, his whip is .94, walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. Just goes to show how often runners get on base as we get ready shortly here for baseball here at the Allman campus. Glad you're with us. Nick Palazzolo with you. Little bit of a later start than we were anticipating. Stevenson was late with their buses, as per usual, on a glorious Tuesday afternoon. Many schools have a hard time getting buses as Adam Behrens and the Blue Devil defense take the mound. Calling balls and strikes today is the veteran umpire Adan Esquibido. Adan worked the regional semifinal and final for when Warren played Highland Park and then Glenbrook South 2 years ago, way back when I was playing. So he's been around a while if he was umping when I was playing. Behrens supporting a baby blue glove. Blue Devils in their home white uniforms. White body with a gold sleeves. Devils across the chest in gold lettering and blue outline with blue numbers on the front left hip and on the back with white pants. Stevenson Patriots supporting their forest green uniforms, green jerseys and socks with white pants, gold or yellow lettering and numbers with white outlines for the Patriots. As we get ready to go here at the Almond Road campus. Only pitchers we will not see today are Tommy Beardman and Brian Bookert. Both threw more than 30 pitches yesterday, so they are down for today. Everybody else is available in that Blue Devil bullpen. Winds blowing out to right center, so hopefully we get some home run action, because that'll be fun. As Hall throws down to second for his warm-up throw, and we are just underway right here at the Almond Road campus. Glad you're with us. Nick Palazzolo with you from the Don Howe press box. Good crowd on hand on this beautiful, beautiful April day. 77 degrees, 15-mile-an-hour winds out of the west-southwest, going out to right center field as Behrens takes the hill for the first time at home, and away we go. As there is a fastball just down for ball one. J.R. Nelson, the batter. Nelson sporting a 3.08 average on the young season. The 0-1 jam shot to the right side. That'll get foul. Kyle Bender, the right fielder over to grab it and throw that baseball in. Bender played yesterday, coming in for the injured Charlie Badgley. And more on him in a second as the 1-1 delivery from Behrens is grounded up the middle. Tough hop to Shills. Throw on to first, in and out of the glove of Cole Clark. And Clark gets essentially a little shove. Clark gets shoved to the ground. Ball was in and out of Clark's glove. That'll go as an E3. So Nelson, the runner on first. Schmidtke, the designated hitter, hitting for their pitcher, Brett Gaynor. So that is officially an E3 by Clark. Clark getting his first start, I believe, ever in high school at first base today. As Behrens delivers to Schmidtke, that is low for ball one. Want to know the count? Behrens with a long look over at first base. Nelson throws over. Not in time. Expect a lot of jarring between the Blue Devils and the Patriots today. As being a former player in this series, there is no better rivalry in Lake County or North Suburban Conference play than Warren and Stevenson, as Schmidtke takes inside for ball 2, 2-0. The count. Nelson, the runner on first. Schmidtke, the batter. Behrens comes set at the chest. The kick, the pitch, curveball outside. 3-0 the count. Behrens has not thrown a called strike thus far through his first handful of pitches. A foul, and then a bat on balls, or a error, excuse me. As he delivers 3-0 inside, the first two men are aboard. Nelson, the runner on second. Schmidtke, the runner on first.
Number 23, Joe Richardson.
Joe Richardson steps in. He was 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored in yesterday's contest. Behrens looking for hopefully another ground ball, as Clark, the first baseman, is in on the grass, expecting bunt. Jaquez is playing in, but not as on the grass, as Behrens delivers to Richardson a fastball in there for a called strike. So 0-1 the count. Runners first and second. Nobody out here in the first inning. As Richardson pops one into left field, and that'll get down fair. Fielded barehandedly by Beardman. He gets the ball in quickly. Just a small little duck snort reaches, allows Richardson to reach. That ball was about 2 feet fair. Dropped right in front of Beardman, able to corral it with a bare hand, potentially saving a run. And now the Patriots have the bases loaded without a out here, as Iannuzzi has a half-hearted attack at a swing, as the count will run to 0-1. Iannuzzi, yesterday's starting pitcher, was also their best hitter, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a solo home run in the second inning, as he fouls straight back. 0-2 the count. I hate to say you need a strikeout in this situation, but definitely seems like you need a strikeout in this situation. 0-2, no outs with the bases loaded. Behrens kicks and delivers the 0-2. Nice block by Jake Hall. It is downstairs. Looked to be a changeup. Behrens just looking for his first out, as they pick to second base, and Fon is there, but the runner Schmidtke gets back in time. Warren not afraid to pick off to all bases, first, second, and even third base, as Behrens comes set, takes a deep breath, and about to deliver the 1-2. And he misses way upstairs to even things up in 2-2. Nelson reached via an error. Schmidtke a walk, and Richardson a little duck snort, base hit in the left. 2-2 the count. Time called as Iannuzzi asks for time. Jaquez playing even with the bag at third. The 2-2. Barons to Iannuzzi. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. A hanging breaking ball sets down Richardson. Or Iannuzzi, rather, for the first out of the inning.
Stevenson, the third baseman, number 3, Michael Belbit.
Michael Belbit here at batting with the bases loaded and 1 away. 324 average on the season, leads the team in home runs. Stevenson hitting for a lot more power than on average teams, as Belbot takes a healthy hack at a fastball and fouls back towards the first base dugout. Bases are loaded, 1 away. Belbot the batter. Belbot is looking for RBI at least 13 with 12 on the ledger so far. He has the same amount of home runs as he does doubles this season. The 0-1 delivery from Barons is an elevated fastball swung on and missed for strike 2. 0-2 is the count to Belbot. Again, another situation where Barons is definitely hunting a strikeout. 0-2 the count, bases loaded, and Barons delivers fastball in off the plate for a ball. 1-2. Good crowd on hand here at the Almond campus. Lots of people losing their winter jackets. Couple hooded sweatshirts in attendance here today. A nice, cool, warm wind out of the west-southwest as Barons delivers the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. As Belbot goes down swinging.
At bat, the catcher, number 29, Luca Morelli.
Belbot goes down swinging, so the first 3 Patriots reach, and then the next 2 Patriots go down via the strikeout. Luca Morelli, the catcher, steps in with the bases loaded. Morelli, 42 at-bats to his name and 1 long ball. As there's a ground ball to the first baseman, Clark. He bobbles it off the chest over to Barons in time. Good job by Clark to knock it down. Patriots load the bases but cannot score. Blue Devils will go to offense. You're listening to Blue Devil Baseball right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus, where the Blue Devils will go to work offensively. Badgley, Beardman, Shills, Clark, Larson, Font, Jaquez, Bender, and Hall.
Charlie Badgley.
1 through 9. Badgley in after being taken out yesterday in the first inning. Hit a double to the left side into left center field. Tried to extend it into a triple, but got thrown out and dislocated his left ring finger as Gaynor delivers a curveball in there for a strike. He dislocated his left ring finger, was able to have it set back in, and he is back in there today as Gaynor delivers in the dirt to even things up at 1-1. Badgley was itching to go back into the game yesterday, but a situation where you try to save Badgley from himself a little bit, but he's back in there today as he skies one into right center. Over is the center fielder Iannuzzi. He will make the catch, and Badgley will be retired.
Now batting the left fielder, number 17, Thomas Beardman.
In steps Beardman. Beardman, he was yesterday's starting pitcher as he takes a curveball upstairs from Gaynor. Beardman's walk-up song is Girls Just Wanna Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper, and yes, you heard me correctly, as Gaynor delivers a fastball in at the knees on the inner third for a called strike. Beardman takes a curveball, which appeared just off the plate, but it was a called strike. Count is 1-2. Beardman sporting a .324 average this season as he skies into left field. Over is the left fielder Schultz, twisting and turning, and he will make the catch.
Number 21, Adam Schill.
First two Blue Devils go down quickly as Adam Schill stepped in. I mentioned it in the open. He was responsible for a go-ahead 2-run single in last year's regional championship game. As Schilzy skies one in the air on the infield left side. Over is the third baseman Belbot, and he doesn't make the play. Belbot was playing third base in towards foul territory, and looks like the wind was playing tricks with him. Wind is blowing out to right center. On a normal day, that baseball might get out of play, but on a day like this, the wind will keep that one in. As Schills has a new life as he takes a fastball in there for strike 2. So 2 strikes on the 3-hitter Schills. The 0-2 from Gaynor. Curveball just off the plate. 1-2. Stevenson thought they had a backwards K, but the home plate umpire disagreed. The 1-2 delivery from Schills is lined into left center, and that'll get down. That'll roll all the way to the wall. Schills is rounding into second. He is aboard with a double here in the first inning.
Now batting the first baseman, number 26, Cole Clark.
As in steps the first baseman, Cole Clark, looking to do some damage here. Cole only 6 RBIs to his name in 26 plate appearances. Clark playing first base today instead of his usual perch in the designated hitter spot, as Clark tried to put that one on Simmons Beach in Kenosha, Wisconsin, as he swings and misses there. 0-1 is the count. Schills the runner on second. Gaynor the pitcher. And Gaynor steps off and takes a look towards Schills, and he will reset. There is no limit of disengagements in high school baseball. As some of you may know, Major League Baseball has introduced some rule changes. Pitcher is only allowed to step off twice as Gaynor delivers upstairs. 1-1 the count to Clark. I wish some of those rule changes made its way to high school baseball so far this year, especially the pitch clock. Is working a varsity game as Clark skies one into the air to right field. That one might get down, and it will. Schills on his horse, and he will score. And Cole Clark is aboard with a RBI single here in the first inning.
Now batting for the Blue Devils, the designated hitter, number 28, Evan Larson.
In steps Evan Larson, playing the role of the designated hitter, hitting for Barons today, the pitcher, as Larson takes a healthy hack on that one. Got to watch Evan Larson during batting practice today, and he had quite the power showing. At one point, I believe he had 4 or 5 home runs to left center in a row, as Clark takes a short lead to first base, as Gaynor delivers a curveball just outside for ball 2 or 1 or whatever it is. Gaynor comes set, rocking a tannish glove, as he takes a curveball on the outer third in there for a called strike. The count, I believe, is 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 from Gaynor to Larson. Fastball outside as Clark takes off for second. He catches them sleeping, and the wheels of Cole Clark steals a base. Cole Clark doing all kinds of things he doesn't normally do, such as steal bases and play first base today. 2-2 the count, runner in scoring position for Larson. Gaynor stands tall, delivers, hanging curveball, fouled straight back. That'll get out of play. Larson, only 18 plate appearances, but supporting a .313 average. Really got some regular at-bats down in Marion, as he takes a half-hearted swing as the ball gets away from Morelli. Larson takes off for first, and he is safe. Larson reaches on the drop third strike on a little check swing where he definitely went. The ball got away from the catcher, Morelli. So Clark advances to third. So Larson technically strikes out and reaches on the drop third strike. Blue Devils have runners on the corner here with 2 away. And by far their hottest hitter up at the plate, Tony Font, 500 average. He is 11 of 22 as they check on the speed at Evan Larson at first base. But Larson isn't going anywhere. 1-0 our score. Blue Devils scored on a Cole Clark RBI single as Font takes upstairs, but it is a called strike. 0-1 the count to Font. Larson the runner on first, Clark the runner on third. As Font takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. As maybe Warren tries to steal a run with a potential delayed steal pull-up here. As Font fouls off. So 0-2 is the count. Font the batter, Clark the runner on third, Larson the runner on first. Gaynor comes, sets, and delivers. Larson takes off as Font goes down swinging.
After 1 inning, Blue Devils 1, Patriots 0.
Blue Devils score the first run of this contest. We'll go to the second. Blue Devils lead 1-0. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Blue Devils lead 1-0 thanks to a Colt Clark RBI single into right field, driving home Adam Schills. It'll be Schultz, DeLonga, and Fawcett due up for the Patriots. 7, 8, 9 in their order. As Schultz fouls off straight back, Albert Jaquez, the third baseman manning the hot corner for the Blue Devils here today, is playing very in on the grass. Definitely seems like Warren is expecting a bunt. The 0-1 delivery to Schultz is downstairs for ball one. Schultz, 400 hitter, did not play yesterday in yesterday's contest. The 1-1 delivery from Behrens to Schultz is a fastball taken outside for ball two. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Patriots. All three players did not play in yesterday's contest. The 2-1 delivery is upstairs for Behrens to lead the count to 3-1. The 3-1 to Schultz is skied into the air down the left field line, and that'll get out of play to make things a full count here in the top half of the second inning. Wind still gusting out to right center field as Behrens gets the sign, and here comes the 3-2. Fastball just upstairs, apparently, as Behrens thought he had strike three, but instead it is ball four as Joe DeLonga, the second baseman, steps in. So no outs here in the first inning. Patriots left three runners on base in the top of the first as Schultz takes off for second. The throw down to second by Hall is not in time as Schills is not able to scoop it as Font is able to back it up. Schultz is into second with a stolen base. Good throw down to second base from Jake Hall. Was a ball on the pitch. 1-0 is the count. Behrens comes, sets, and delivers way inside to the batter, DeLonga. Two and 0 is the count. And the 2-0 delivery is high and tight to make things 3-0. Brandon Schultz, the runner on second base. Joe DeLonga in the box. No outs here in the top half of the second inning. Behrens comes set. He looks in the sign as there is a called strike one. 3-1 is the count. Schultz getting a rather small lead at second base with Schills holding. As there is a fastball inside as Jake Hall will go and talk to Behrens. Behrens voicing some body language displeasure, thoughting he had strike two. Three Patriots have got on via the free pass, and that brings in Ben Fawcett, their right fielder. Fawcett, only 2 plate appearances to his name as he bunts. Hall will field as he got the bunt down, but the umpire calls it a foul ball as it went into the box as Fawcett was in the box. So Clark, seeing the bunt, moves into the grass. Jaquez playing one step even As he squares around a bunt, he gets it down, but foul. So 2 strikes. Fawcett with the leadoff man, J.R. Nelson, waiting on deck. As I mentioned, Fawcett only has 2 plate appearances on the season through 13 games. Patriots are 8-5 in those 13 games. The 0-2 delivery from Behrens is a curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Fawcett will go down via the punch-out for the first out here in the second.
J.R. Nelson.
Now Nelson steps in. Nelson steps in. Reached via the air on Cole Clark as he had a chopper up the middle, fielded by Shills as they try to front door a curveball right there, but it misses too far inside. 1-0 is the count. 1-0 is the count. Runners at first and second. The batter Nelson steps in as he spikes a fastball. Hall blocks it. Throw back down to second is not in time. Hall lost the baseball for a minute. It was right underneath him. He was able to regather it as Schultz, the runner on second base, was about to take off. Got caught in no man's land and then went back. Hall tried to backpick him, but just a half second too late. Good throw, though. So 2-0 is the count. Behrens to Nelson. As Nelson skies one in the air to left field, Beardman going back on it. He's circling, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Beardman got to a spot, had to drift a tad bit, but he was able to make the play, as that is out number 2. So 2 runners aboard, 2 outs. In comes Schmidtke, who walked in his first plate appearance last inning. Schultz, the runner on second. DeLonga, the runner on first. Schmidtke, the batter, as he takes a curveball in there for a strike. Behrens definitely favoring that off-speed early here today. Doesn't seem to have the fastball command going so far. Oh, and 1 is the count. Behrens to Schmidtke. As Schmidtke takes a curveball in there for a strike. A front door curveball. As I mentioned, Behrens seems to be throwing the curveball with much more regularity than the fastball. The 0-2 delivery, Behrens to Schmidtke, is downstairs for a ball. Good block by Hall. And he wore that one in a place he did not want to wear that one. As Schmidtke runs down to talk to his head coach, Nick Scala, at third base. Hall is trying all he can to just kind of walk it off. But this is not something you just kind of walk off. Just needs to give it time. Clint Smothers now out to check on Hall. Hall says he's good, and we will do the 1-2 once Hall gets set. I've been in Jake's situation more times than I would like. Not a great feeling. Just gotta get some time to get the air back into you. As Hall is ready, and away we go. 1-2 the count. Runners on first and second. Behrens to Schmidtke. The 1-2. Front door curveball. Just inside. Blue Devils thought they had that one. As Clint Smothers voices his displeasure about how he thought that should have been strike 3. So we'll do 2-2 now. 2 outs. 2 runners on. Rub it. 2-2. Lined into right center. That'll get down. Schultz around third, and he will score. DeLonga to third, and he will stand. As Schmidtke is aboard with an RBI single to tie things up at 1.
3, Joe Richardson.
So Schmidtke aboard with a base hit, as it looks like Clint Smothers was given a writ. Looks like he is getting his first written warning. The first step to a potential ejection. So Schultz scored to even things up at 1. So we're tied at 1 here in the second inning. DeLonghi now the runner on third. Schmidtke, the designated hitter, takes over at first base. Barron's still working with 2 outs. The batter is Richardson as he grounds one to the first baseman. Fair to Cole Clark. He charges and will retreat to the bag. Patriots score and even things up at 1 here in the second. Blue Devils will have to break the tie if they want to win this ball game. We'll be back right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Bottom half of the second, all tied apiece here at 1. It'll be Jaquez, Bender, and Hall due up for the Blue Devils. As Gaynor delivers to Jaquez as he takes upstairs for a ball 1. Blue Devils finally got the windscreens up, and it looks beautiful here at the Almond campus. As Gaynor delivers an up-and-in fastball, but Albert Jaquez takes a hack. Blue windscreens all the way around from the dugouts, all the way around the outfield fence. Home of the Blue Devils, written in white font in left and right center, as Jaquez falls in and out of the glove of the catcher Morelli. In center field is the banners of regional championships that Warren has won. 13 in total as Gaynor delivers a curveball upstairs. I believe there might be 1 or 2 sectional championship banners up there. As Jaquez swings on and misses at a slider outside for the first out.
Number 24, Kyle Bender.
Bender the batter. Bender only 3 at-bats to his name. 2 of them came yesterday. 1 for 3. He was 1 for 2 yesterday. So 1 for 3 on the season as he takes downstairs for a ball. Bender's 6 total plate appearances, though, has walked twice. As he skies into right field, over is the right fielder Fawcett. That ball is hanging up there a while, and Fawcett will retire Bender.
Back to catcher, number 9, Jake Hall.
So that'll go F9 in the scorebook. As the catcher Jake Hall steps in. Hall only 9 total at bats, but he has walked 6 times. As he is up with 2 outs, and he has a little half speed swing on a curveball that looked to have fooled him. As Gaynor delivers, it is an elevated fastball. Quickly 0-2 is the count. 0-2 the count. Gaynor to the catcher Hall as he misses outside. Hall in his 3rd varsity season, his 2nd full season, as the 0-2 delivery is in there for a called strike 3. And he did not like that, but the Blue Devils go down 1-2-3. We'll go to the 3rd. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Don Howe Press Box for Blue Devil Baseball right here on your home for Blue Devil Baseball, the Blue Devil Radio Network. Tied here at 1 apiece. Here in the top half of the 3rd, Barron's still working. 42 pitches through 2 innings. As he delivers as what everybody seemed to think was a strike, except the home plate umpire. Iannuzzi the batter. Iannuzzi, Belbot, and Morelli do up as he front doors a curveball in there for strike 1. As I mentioned, Iannuzzi had a day at the plate yesterday, going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a solo home run. The 1-1 delivery is fouled straight back to bring it to 1-2. Iannuzzi Cade last time up in the 1st inning. As Barons delivers the 1-2 to Iannuzzi. Ground ball up the middle past Barons and Font, and that'll get into center field for a base hit.
At bat number 3, Michael Belbot.
As now Belbot steps in, who has punched out in 3 of his last 4 plate appearances. Stevenson uses the wristband system for offensive signs instead of the normal signs that most people associate with baseball, as Barron's front doors a curveball in there for strike 1. Belbot, interestingly, is not wearing the wristband. He is wearing it in his back left pocket. It is technically illegal to be worn anywhere else besides the wrist, as he shows bunt and pulls back, pitches outside for 1-1. Hall thought taking a shot to the runner on first, Iannuzzi. Nick Scala, the Stevenson Patriots head coach, is giving the numbers coordinating to something on the wristband from the third base coaching box. The 1-1 count. Curveball gets him in on the hands, and he has the only defense mechanism he has is to foul it away, and that's what he does to bring things to 1-2. Common theme for Blue Devils and Patriots so far in about 9 innings of play. The inability to get a bunt down in a sacrifice situation as Behrens delivers the 1-2. Curveball down below. Tried to check his swing, and he did not go. So the count will run to 2-2. Iannuzzi, the runner, on first. Belbot, the batter, playing third base today. The 2-2 from Behrens looks down twice and now is ready to deliver. He delivers in the dirt. He delivers in the dirt. Hall went into the box to get it, and a little bit of incidental, or what appeared to be incidental, contact between Belbot and Hall. Hall having a conversation with the home plate umpire, potentially trying to ask for some sort of batter's interference, as the 3-2 delivery is skied into right center. Badgley over, and he can't get there. He will field it on a hop and throw quickly into second base. Just a little floater into right center.
Now batting, number 29, Luca Morelli.
As Belbot is aboard with a base hit. Iannuzzi scampers into second base. And in steps Morelli. Morelli, once again, not wearing the wristband on his wrist. Like Belbot, has it tucked in his back left pocket. Iannuzzi, the runner on second base, has it tucked right at his belt, at his midsection, which technically is illegal per Federation rules. As Hall wanted a quick mound visit to chat. And we are back as Morelli grounded out to the first baseman Clark over to Behrens, his first time up. The first pitch of this at-bat, Morelli squares to bunt, gets it down to the third base line. Jaquez doesn't charge. He applies the tag to Iannuzzi, and they get him. A very hard bunt right to Jaquez, playing in. Instead of going straight to the base to try to get the force out, he was able to tag Iannuzzi because he was closer than the bag. So 1 away. So Iannuzzi is forced out at third. Belbot is now at second, and Morelli is aboard with a fielder's choice at first base. So 1 away, runners first and second. In steps the left fielder Schultz, left-handed hitter, as he takes a curveball downstairs. Good job by Hall to keep it in front. Schultz walked in his first at-bat of the ball game in the second inning. And then again came around to score. He pops up the bunt, and Behrens makes the play with a sliding catch. So back-to-back bunts results in outs.
Joe DeLinga.
So back-to-back bunts results in outs, both a fielder's choice, and Behrens had to come all the way from the mound all the way to the third base foul line to slide and make the play. So that is technically a fly out to 1. So F1 technically in the scorebook. I don't believe in pop-outs. It's either in the air or it's not. So 2 quick outs via bunts as he delivers downstairs to the batter DeLonga. DeLonga reached once again via the walk. Behrens having some control issues here in the third inning, and has for most of the start. Definitely not Behrens' best outing. 1-0 the count to DeLonga. Misses downstairs. 2-0. Belbot's still the runner on first. Belbot the runner on second. Morelli is the runner on first. DeLonga is up to bat. DeLonga, 24 plate appearances to his name through 13 games. The 2-0 delivery is fouled back into the solar farm, and that might have clipped a panel. As it did, apparently, to the person running the music. So 2-1 is the count. Barons to DeLonga. DeLonga looking for RBI number 7. The 2-1 is a front door curveball in there for a called strike. Barons definitely has that curveball working here early. Struggled a tad bit with fastball command. So 2-2 the count, 2 outs in a 1-1 ball game here in the top half of the third inning. The 2-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. Hall applies the tag, and he goes down swinging for the third out. Blue Devils have the top of the order coming up in the bottom half of the third. You're listening to Blue Devil Baseball right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. In steps the Iron Man, Charlie Badgley, flied out to center field in his first AB as he takes a fastball outside, which looked like the plate umpire wanted to call a strike. Good crowd on hand here at the Almond Road campus as Gaynor delivers up and out to the batter, Badgley. Badgley batting .526 coming into this game with a .561 on-base percentage. He is 20 of 38. The 2-0 delivery to Gaynor is outside for ball 3. In a tie ball game, 3-0 count. Definitely don't think Badgley will be swinging. And he is not, as he takes a fastball called strike on the inner third. It's always funny how a pitcher goes up quickly 3-0 on a batter, and then the coach gives you the take sign, and then it's like the best pitch you may ever see. As Badgley has a hack at a 3-1 changeup, I believe. That thing just kind of fluttered up there and is able to foul it towards the home on deck circle, as Tommy Beardman was able to throw that one back in. Gaynor delivers the 3-2. Badgley skies into short left center field. 3 Patriots looking in, and that'll drop. Badgley heading for second. There's a play, and he is safe. Charlie Badgley is aboard with a little dink and dunk double as the Blue Devils have their leadoff man on with no one away. So Beardman comes to the plate, 37 at-bats to his name with 13 ribbies. Badgley always a threat to go at second base. The third baseman, Belbot, is playing in kind of on the lip of where the dirt meets the grass as Beardman takes outside for ball 1. So Badgley the runner on second, nobody away here in the home half of the third inning. The 1-0 from Gaynor to Beardman is inside as the plate umpire almost signaled strike, but then calls it a ball. I've done that before. It's not fun, especially in a varsity game. They'll be all over for you. All over you for it. First time this year the umpires have busted out the light blue umpire uniforms, especially in Illinois. High school baseball, you're definitely wearing some kind of dark color, typically a black, potentially even a navy, as Beardman takes ball 3 inside. 3-0 is the count, as Shills waits patiently on deck, who doubled in his first at-bat to left center, and scoring the Blue Devils' only run. The 3-0 from Gaynor is high and tight, and buzzed the tower by Tommy Beardman. So Beardman aboard with a walk. 2 runners on for Shills. Shills 11 ribbies to his name. Shills has 4 doubles and 2 triples. Still looking for his first long ball of the year. Now would be a good time. 2 men on, nobody out. Here is Shills. Gaynor delivers the pitch. Ground ball to the right side, kind of in no man's land. Second baseman DeLonga fields on to first to retire Shills. That'll go 4-3
Cole Clark
in the scorebook. Badgley and Beardman will advance. So Cole Clark, who has a RBI single to his name so far, comes up with runners in scoring position, only 1 away. Interesting defensive tactic as Stevenson is playing their corners in, expecting a bunt. As Clark takes a curveball in the outer third. In there for a called strike. Interesting. Clark might go for 3 things he doesn't do often. Bunt, steal bases, and play first base. 1 strike as he takes a curveball in there for 2 strikes. As he looks down to Coach Clint Smothers in the third base coach's box, does not give him a sign. Even with 2 strikes, Patriots still playing corners in. Gaynor about to deliver the 0-2. As there's a ground ball to the left side. Fielded on by the shortstop Nelson. He will throw on to first. And they get Clark, but a run does come in to score.
Now batting the designated hitter.
So that'll be an RBI fielder's choice, 6-3. Badgley comes in to score, 2-1 our score here in the third. As Larson steps in. As the pitch is delivered downstairs for ball 1. Clark narrowly almost beat that throw to first base from the shortstop Nelson. As Larson takes a curveball upstairs, 2-0 the count. Interesting defensive tactic that I mentioned with Gaynor Belbat, the third baseman, playing in on the grass. He almost had a chance at that ball, a little slow roller to the shortstop. They're playing corners in, middles back as Larson takes upstairs. Corners in, middles back, and Clark just kind of put it in the perfect scenario where the shortstop Nelson had to charge and get it as Larson is aboard with a walk as he takes an off-speed pitch low and away.
Tony Font.
So Larson is aboard. Beardman the runner on third. 2 away. Blue Devils have scored once in this inning. RBI fielder's choice to Cole Clark. He has 2 RBIs on the day so far. So Larson the runner on first. He takes off for second. They will not throw. They will concede. The runner Larson, he will step in at second base. So second and third as the pitch was a called strike to Tony Font. So runner second and third, Larson the runner on second, Beardman the runner on third. Font is in the box as he swings on and misses a elevated curveball from Gaynor. Gaynor leads this Patriots team in innings pitched, 15 2/3 coming in to today's contest. As Font calls time, gets a practice swing, and he steps back in. So 0-2 is the count. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Font delivers ground ball left side, and that'll get foul. And Font stays alive. Gaynor working fast here to Font. 0-2 is the count. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Gaynor comes set. And he goes, grounded up the middle, deflected off of Gaynor to the second baseman, DeLonga. He will throw on to first base, and that'll retire the side. But the Blue Devils do break our tie. It'll be 2-1 our score here at the Allman campus. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Nick Palazzolo with you on a glorious day for Blue Devil Baseball right here on your home for Blue Devil Baseball, the Blue Devil Radio Network. Fawcett, Nelson, and Schmidtke due up as Fawcett swings on and fouls back. Barron's 3 innings so far at 61 pitches. Struggled with command as he lines one just foul. It's coming for first baseman Cole Clark and the first base umpire, both retreating to the same spot. So 0-2 is the count. Barron's to Fawcett. The 0-2 wind up, the kick and the pitch. Curveball fouled straight back. Wasn't the prettiest of swings, but enough to kind of see another pitch. Had his whole body kind of out in front of it just to get to the outside curveball. 0-2 is the count. We'll do it once more. Barron's comes set, gets the sign, and delivers a front door curveball, but he misses upstairs. Fawcett went down via a strikeout last time. The 1-2 from Barron's. Elevated fastball, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Fawcett goes down for the second time today due to the strikeout. So Barron's picks up his 5th punch out so far through 3+. As Nelson steps in, it's flied out to left field and reached on an error, takes a healthy hack at a fastball. So 0-1 is the count. 1 out here in the top half of the 4th inning as he takes a curveball on the outer third. Nelson turns back to the plate umpire and asked if that caught the corner. He said yes. And we will do And this will be the 0-2 delivery from Barons. There's a curveball down below. I guess you could say that ball was way down under. 1-2 is the count. Nice job by Hall to block that curveball. Oh, 1-2 the count to Nelson. Curveball in there for a called strike. In and out of the glove. Hall will throw down to first base to complete the strikeout. Mark that strikeout. 2-3 in your scorebooks. So 2 quick outs via the strikeout. As Barron tallies his 6th strikeout to 3 walks and 4 hits so far in the ballgame. He's seen 19 batters and about to see his 20th. In Schmidtke, Schmidtke fouls towards the first base dugout. Third base dugout, yeah, that might help. Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll learn my directions on the baseball field. 0-1 is the count. Barron's slower windup this time delivers a curveball, which apparently hit the batter Schmidtke.
Batting for the Patriots, number 23, Joe Richardson.
So Schmidtke is aboard with a hit by pitch. In steps Richardson. Singled and 3 unassisted through 2 at-bats so far. As Barons delivers a middle fastball in there for a strike. Through about an hour of play, 3 complete innings. Blue Devils looking to take a 2-1 lead into the bottom half of the 4th inning. The 0-1 delivery from Barons to Richardson is a curveball that misses outside. Richardson, a tall, lengthy left-handed hitter, throws right-handed. Richardson batting .366 on the season. The 1-1 delivery from Barons. They try to backdoor that curveball, but that one is a lot lower than the first one. That'll bring the count to 2-1. The 2-1 delivery from Barons to Richardson. Grounded up the middle. Barons can't get his glove onto it. And that'll get into center field for a hit. So Richardson is aboard. Schmidtke will advance to second base. And in steps Iannuzzi. Iannuzzi with the team lead with 19 hits so far through the season. As pitching coach Clay Kovac is going to use one of his 3 conferences he has and go talk to Barons with 2 away here in the 3rd. Runners at first and second. Iannuzzi, their dangerous 4-hole hitter, due up.
Warren Baseball is on Twitter. Follow them all season long at WTHS_Blue Devils for the latest news and information.
That mound meeting had to be broken up by both umpires as pitching coach Clay Kovac struts towards the dugout. So Iannuzzi playing center field today. He pitched in yesterday's contest. Was Stevenson's losing pitcher of record. Only threw 4 1/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, only 4 of them earned, punched out 5, walked 3. Barons delivers to Iannuzzi, low in the dirt. The ball kicks away to the third base dugout as Hall is able to retrieve it, but the runners Richardson and Schmidtke both advance 90 feet. So from a high leverage spot, this becomes an even higher leverage spot as runners advance to second and third with 2 away. And as that happened, as it looks like the Blue Devils will intentionally walk Iannuzzi to intentionally load the bases.
Michael Belbach.
Interesting baseball strategy right there. They walk Iannuzzi, setting up forces everywhere. So it'll be Barons with no place to put Belbot, the batter, who has singled and struck out so far. We take a look to the Blue Devil bullpen. Landon Thieren is throwing. As there is a curveball in there that is low. Nice job by Hall to keep that in front. 1-0 is the count. Stevenson has some life in their dugout because of the intentional walk. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1 ball to the batter, Belbot. As Barons fires a fastball, and he kind of chirps at Hall because Hall dropped to his knees. A potential cross-up situation there. As if Hall is just able to stay in his normal stance and catch that, he might have stole a strike there. So 2-0 the count, and Belbot skies one in the air to left field, and that'll one hop against the wall. 1 run is in. Here comes a second run, and here comes Iannuzzi, and he will score. It is a bases-clearing double for Michael Belbot, as the Patriots now take the lead 4-2 here in the 4th.
Now batting, number 29, Luca Morelli.
So the intentional walk comes to hurt the Blue Devils, as Belbot clears the bases, all with 1 swing of the bat. He takes over at second base. Landon Thieren, who did pitch yesterday in yesterday's contest, only threw an inning and 23 pitches, is starting to ramp up in the Blue Devil bullpen. As Barons throws a called strike to the catcher, Morelli. Barons with a long look at Belbot, the runner. Front door's a curveball, which is inside. Patriots have scored 3 times this inning, all because of an RBI double by Michael Belbot. That one hopped the wall in left field as Barons delivers downstairs for 2-1. That intentional walk to Iannuzzi really fired up the Patriot dugout. The 2-1 from Barons to Morelli. Lines one in the air. Right field, Bender overplaying the line on the run. He makes the catch. Patriots take the lead back. Blue Devils down 2. Blue Devils have some work to do. You're listening to Blue Devil Baseball right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Nick Palazzolo with you from the Don Howe press box. Blue Devils down 4-2 as Jaquez, Bender, and Hall do up for the Blue Devils. Gaynor still working as he throws a high and tight fastball to Jaquez. Jaquez doubled in yesterday's ball game, but has only had one at-bat and has gone down via the strikeout so far as he takes a hack at a fastball on the inner third. Clay Kovac has now joined Landon Theoren in the bullpen. Blue Devils down a coach today as Dan Word had a prior commitment. So Keith Stocker taking over the first base coaching duties. The 2-1 delivery from Gaynor to Jaquez is swung on and missed by Jaquez. So that'll even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The delivery from Gaynor is popped up, foul towards the first base dugout, and that'll barely get out of the stands, causing some fans to leave their seats to avoid getting hit by the baseball. That ball didn't get out by more than 5 feet. But thanks to the beautiful stadium seating we have here at the Almond Road campus, Jaquez has a new life. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gaynor fires a curveball swung on and missed by Jaquez.
At bat, number 24, Kyle Bender.
So Jaquez goes down via the strikeout once again here today. 0 for 2. As Bender steps in. As Bender takes high and tight. Gaynor definitely missing more arm side, elevated and arm side here today. Both pitchers not having their best command or control. As he takes upstairs again. 2-0 is the count. Bender flied out to right field in the second inning as he takes a hack and the bat leaves his hands and almost nails Hall in the on-deck circle. Someone needs to get him some more stickum on those batting gloves or a new bat grip or just something. As he takes a hack at a curveball to even things up at 2-2. Bender has not had regular plate appearances so far this year, hoping to break the starting lineup for a consistent basis as he swings on and misses on a curveball.
The catcher, number 9, Jake Hall.
So Bender will go down via the strikeout. Back-to-back punch-outs for the Blue Devils. As we check in on the farm with the Blue Devil JV team, they are down 6-1 in the bottom half of the fourth. As Hall singles into center field for a base hit. The ball gets past the center fielder, Iannuzzi. Hall sprinting towards second, and he slides in safely. Jake Hall is aboard with a single and an error that allowed him to advance to second base. As Badgley steps in, and Jacob Gonzalez will take over for Hall at second base. So Gonzalez, the courtesy runner at second with 2 away. As Badgley steps in. As somebody forgot to take Jake Hall's bat and put it back in the dugout. It was just kind of staying in the grass right in front of the dugout. So in steps Badgley, who doubled and flew out to center so far here today. Good time to start chipping away here in the bottom half of the fourth. Badgley sees the 0-0 that is upstairs from Gaynor. After Badgley dislocated his left ring finger sliding into third base in the top half of the first inning in yesterday's ball game, he wanted to go back in, but the coaching staff would not let him, but he was doing everything he possibly could on the bench to stay in the game as Gaynor misfires in the dirt Badgley was all about grabbing equipment from the runners at first base or chasing down bats, doing everything he can. Spoke to a couple players, and everybody's like, Charlie Badgley is definitely the heart and soul of this ball club, as Badgley takes a healthy hack on a 2-0 count at a fastball to bring things to 2-1. Badgley, the second-year varsity player, second-year starter, was the leadoff hitter pretty much 98% of the time last year, as he takes a healthy hack for 2-2 the count. Badgley started the season with the unthinkable 10 for 10. He was perfect in his first 10 at-bats of the season, starting here in Illinois, or in Lake County, and then went in to Marion as he skies one into the air, center field, Iannuzzi over, and he will make the catch. Blue Devils threaten but do not score. We'll go to the fifth. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. 4-2 our score in the top half of the fifth inning. Schultz, DeLonga, and Fawcett due up, but a new hurler takes the mound for the Blue Devils. On for the sixth time is Landon Theron, 2-1 with a 1.40 ERA, 13 strikeouts, only 6 walks. Schultz squares around to bunt and takes strike one. Theron works primarily out of the stretch. Schultz skies one in the air, short left center, Shills and Beardman, and it'll be Beardman, as Beardman will make the play.
Now batting number 4, Joe DeLenga.
That'll go F7 in the scorebook. Joe DeLanga steps in. DeLanga 0 for 1 with a walk so far today. Has struck out. As Theron misses low and away. It's just beautiful outside this week all the way here in Lake County, Illinois. It's so great, like when you're able to just walk on the grass and it doesn't feel like you're walking on avocados. As DeLonga skies into center field, it'll be Badgley. He will make the catch. So 2 quick outs.
Now batting number 12, Ben Fawcett.
Here in the fifth inning, glorious weather. The wind has died down a tad bit, but still blowing out to center field. Two outs here in the top half of the fifth inning as Theron delivers a curveball in there for a strike. 0-1's the count. Theron to the batter, Fawcett, as he takes outside. Fawcett has gone down twice via the strikeout so far today. 1-1 the count. Theron to Fawcett. There's a slider in there for a strike. So with Theron taking over, that officially ends the book on Barron's Day. We will get you his final line in a minute. Justin Kretz is warming in the Blue Devil bullpen. 1-2 the count. Theron to Fawcett as he misses way outside to even things up at 2-2. The 2-2 from Theron to Fawcett. Misses outside. A slider misses outside to run things full. Theron worked in yesterday's ball game, gave up 1 run, only 1 inning, 23 pitches. The 3-2 is a fastball called. Strike 3. 1-2-3 down the Patriots. Blue Devils still chasing 2. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Blue Devils down 2. Beardman, Shills, and Clark do up as Beardman takes a called strike. Gaynor in his 5th inning of work so far. As the ball was outside, Beardman checked his swing. They went to appeal to the base umpire, who was not paying attention in conversations with the first baseman Richardson. So we'll just call it a no swing, as the count is even at 1-1, as Beardman takes a healthy hack at an elevated fastball, or elevated changeup rather. Shout out to the creator of the Warren Blue Devil Network. Josh Pose is listening from Bloomington, Indiana right now.
Hey, Josh!
The 1-2 from Gaynor misses upstairs to Beardman. The 2-2 from Gaynor to Beardman is skied in the air to center field. Iannuzzi and Schultz over. It'll be Schultz, and he makes the play right in front of Iannuzzi. So that'll go F7.
Now batting number 21, Adam Schills.
As Adam Schills steps in. Not a unfamiliar sight for the Blue Devils to be down against Stevenson. Multiple comebacks over the years against Stevenson, both in conference and in IHSA regional play. As Schills takes outside for ball one. As there's a curveball in there for strike one to bring things to 1-1. Justin Kretz was warming in the bullpen for the Blue Devils. He is now just kind of standing with catcher Beck Kelberg as Schills takes outside for ball two. Patriots have somebody else warming or stretching to throw. It's Brady Rosencrans as Schills lines one into center field, and that'll be a hit. Schills is aboard with a hit. Little line drive right into center field just past a diving Nelson. So Schills is 2 for 3 here today. As Clark steps in. Clark with both RBIs. As Gaynor tries to pick off Schills, and first base coach Keith Stocker almost had to get out of the way for a potential errant throw. A little amped up on that pickoff move. So the first pitch to Clark is a curveball, elevated, but didn't come down enough for a strike, so that'll be a ball. As Cole Clark gets the Ted Lasso-esque chance from the Blue Devil dugout, as another throw over to Schills at first base is not in time. Gaynor keeping the runner close. Brady Rosencrans throwing the right-hander in the Patriot bullpen. As there's a fastball in there for a called strike on the outer third. Four to 2 our score. Blue Devils have 8 outs to play with as Clark takes a swing and a miss to bring the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gaynor at 86 pitches so far, 54 strikes through 4 1/3. As Clark skies one in the air to the right side, over is the right fielder Fawcett. He's calling everybody off vocally, and he will make the catch. So that'll go F8 or F9.
Now batting number 28, Evan Larson.
As Larson steps in, the big power hitter steps in. As now would be a good time for a potential good time to play long ball. As Larson has a healthy hack on an off-speed pitch. Larson looks to be going to that right center gap, especially with that swing. Was able to get the bottom of a little bit of an elevated slider, trying to push the ball to the right side. As Larson skies one in the air to right center, both Iannuzzi and Fibo, it'll one hop the wall. Schills around third, and he will score. And Evan Larson is in there with an RBI double. Blue Devils pull to within 1.
Now batting the second baseman, number 6, Tony Fawn.
As I just mentioned, Larson looked to be trying to go to that right side with his swing, and that's exactly where he went. So he drives in a run. Schills scores 4-3 our score. 2 outs, and in steps Tony Font. Justin Kretz has resumed throwing in the bullpen. Rosencrans still not in any not throwing with any urgency in the Patriot bullpen. As foul pop up, first base side, Richardson over, and he will make the catch 6 feet from the Patriot dugout. The Blue Devils do get one back. We'll go to the 6th inning. Blue Devils within 1. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Top 6, 4-3 our score. Landon Theron in his 2nd inning of work only needed 10 pitches in his 1st inning in the 5th in relief of Barons as he delivers to Nelson a called strike. Top of the order due up. Nelson, Schmidtke, and Richardson due up for the Patriots. As there's an elevated curveball, and Nelson didn't miss it. He will line it into left field. Beardman will throw onto the infield. Nelson is aboard with a base hit.
Number 20, Colin Schmidtke.
As Schmidtke takes over in the batter's box. Again, Stevenson using the wristband system. Schmidtke has the wristband instead of on his wrist in his back pocket, so he takes and pulls it out after every pitch of every at-bat. Not exactly a good idea in the pitch clock era we are in of baseball as Theron delivers outside. The final line for Adam Barons, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 6 punch-outs to his name as Theron throws over to first base, not in time to check on the runner. 83 pitches to get through 4 innings. Definitely not Barron's best start as Theron will throw over once again to check on the runner Nelson. Nelson has stolen 3 bags so far this year as there is a liner base hit into right field. Bender will gather it and throw on in. So, first and second.
The first baseman, number 23, Joe Richardson.
So, first and second here for Richardson, who singled and scored in his last at bat. As Blue Devils are setting up for a potential bunt situation, Clark is in on the grass. Jaquez making his way over. Richardson, their 3-hitter, potentially squaring around a bunt, but I doubt it. As there is a curveball outside. You never want to rule out a bunt with your 3-hitter, but it is unlikely because in most cases your 2, 3, and 4 in your batting order will be your best hitters, especially at the high school level. As Richardson takes a curveball on the outer third, Hall thought it was good enough for a strike. He asked the plate umpire where that missed, and apparently it was outside. So 2-0 is the count to Richardson from Thurin. His 17th delivery comes set, the kick, the pitch. Is a fastball in there for a called strike. Thurin throwing what appears to be a two-seamer or a sinker of some kind, has some arm side tail for the right-hander. Nilsson the runner on second. As Richardson gets jammed and fouls straight back to make things 2-2. Nelson and Schmidtke are the runners on second and first, respectively, both reaching via the hit. No outs here in the top half of the sixth inning with the Blue Devils chasing a run. 2-2 is up and away to make things full. So a very important 3-2 delivery from the junior pitcher, Thurin. Comes set, takes a deep breath, and delivers the 3-2. A slider in there for a called strike 3. Richardson goes down disappointed, but Thurin able to get him looking with a elevated slider. Not something you see, especially on 3-2, but Clay Kovac calling pitches did it multiple times yesterday, going with the 3-2 off speed. As there is one away, a very important first out for Thurin. As Thurin throws a fastball with that arm side movement, and that will go ahead and hit Iannuzzi. So the bases are now loaded. As Jake Hall will go. As Hall will go and meet Thurin, puts his left arm around him, and they will walk back to the pitching rubber. Kretz is no longer throwing in the Blue Devil bullpen. He is now in the dugout. He will, in all likelihood, be the next man up if needed for the Blue Devils. Brady Rosencrantz still taking his time in the Stevenson pen. Bases loaded. Patriots up a run. The 0-0 delivery to Belbot is a front door curveball in there for a strike. It's always big in these situations to get the first strike, and then you can breathe a little easier, especially in a high leverage situation. The 0-1 delivery as Thurin stepped off, and Hall thinks it is time for another mound visit. Probably making sure they're on the same page in terms of signs and defensive alignment. Corners are playing in, not so far in on the grass, but playing right at that lip. Middles are pinching up the middle, trying to turn two. The 0-1 delivery from Thurin is a slider that is fouled off by Belbot. And the count will move to 0-2. Definitely a situation where you do not want to give in and throw a cookie here. 0-2. You got 4 pitches to waste before you have to throw a strike. Ideally, you'd get Belbot to chase. The 0-2 delivery is a ground ball up the middle. Font throws on to second, on to first. A 4-6-3 double play, and the Blue Devils escape a jam. Blue Devils will go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, chasing a run. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Blue Devils trailing a run. 4-3 is our score in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Beck Keldberg has grabbed a bat and will pinch hit for Jaquez in the 7th spot. Jaquez 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs. Beck, like the best option off of the bench so far. Keldberg a .333 average as he takes a called strike on the outer third. Keldberg 15 plate appearances, 5 hits, a perfect evenly split, 1 for 3 as he takes a curveball downstairs. Usually find Keldberg behind the plate. Catcher by trade. The count is even up, 1-1. Gainer still working as that ball is upstairs. 1-1, and it looks like Jacob Gonzalez has potentially grabbed a bat. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a pinch hit bunter in a scenario down a run. As Beck takes downstairs for ball 3. Beck, with Keldberg, you're always going to get a professional at bat. As he takes his base on balls. As Beck is aboard.
Now batting number 24, Kyle Bender.
As Kyle Bender steps in, it looks like we will get a pinch runner. It'll be Sam Schmidt at first base to run for Keldberg. So that means Keldberg's day is essentially over. Did his job, got on base, worked a 5-pitch walk. So Schmidt, the senior, will take over at first base. Bender, the batter. Typical sacrifice bunt situation from Bender. Let's see what Coach Smothers and the Blue Devils decide to do down a run here in the 6th inning. Schmidt with a 10-foot lead. Gainer still working. Bender, the batter. Bender squares the bunt. He gets it down. Right back to the third baseman, Belbot. He will throw on to first, and Bender just did a job. That'll be a sacrifice. 5-3 in the book for the first out. Schmidt moves up to second base, and we will have Jacob Gonzalez step in, and he will hit for Hall.
Jacob Gonzalez.
As Gonzalez... So Gonzalez will pinch hit for Hall. Hall will likely re-enter, and they will burn Gonzalez. Blue Devils chasing a run. Gonzalez batting .300 so far. 7 walks to only 4 strikeouts. 4 RBIs to his name so far. As Gonzalez takes a fastball in there for a called strike. Belbot playing in even with the bag at third base. Gonzalez, a left-handed hitter. Both right side infielders, DeLong and Richardson, playing straight up as Gonzalez fouls back over into the parking lot. So 0-2 is the count for Gonzalez. Schmidt the runner on second. Gonzalez the batter. Badgley waits patiently for an opportunity on deck. The 2-strike delivery from Gainer. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Gonzalez was late on the fastball and goes down swinging for out number 2. And now in steps Charlie Badgley. Gainer with 99 pitches to his name, and it looks like we will, in all likelihood, have a pitching change with Brady Rosencrantz coming on for the Patriots in a high-leverage spot. We'll take a break. We'll tell you about the changes when we come back right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. Definitely a typical scenario where when the head coach makes a trot out to the mound and the guy in the bullpen comes out from the mound, you think there's going to be a pitching change? But Stevenson pulled a fast one on us. There will not be a pitching change. It'll be Gaynor to throw pitch number 100 to Charlie Badgley. Blue Devils down a run. Schmidt the runner on second. Badgley the batter crowding the plate. Badgley is 1 for 3 with a double off of Gaynor as he swings and misses on what appears to be a changeup from Gaynor on his 100th delivery. Gaynor has punched out 7 Blue Devils, only walked 3. Badgley crowds that plate a little more, the left-handed batter, and Warren's best hitter statistically. As he takes inside, almost gets nailed with an inside pitch. The count is even at 1-1. The shortstop, Nelson, is keeping Schmidt close at second base, but not holding him all that tightly towards the bag at second. 1-1 the count to Badgley. That ball gets away. Schmidt will advance towards third. And the tying run is now 90 feet away on what will be a wild pitch for the for the Patriots. So it looks like Gaynor was able to convince his coach that he wants to try to finish 6 complete innings, as Gaynor now asks for a new baseball because apparently there was something wrong with the one he had. So 2-1 now is the count. Badgley the batter, Schmidt the runner on third with 2 outs. The 2-1 as Badgley skies one in the air, right field. Fawcett going back on it. It's over his head. Schmidt scores. Badgley heading towards third. Is he going to be sent? They're going to send him. Badgley to the plate. He slides in safely and inside the park. 2-run homer for Charlie Badgley. Oh my goodness. Charlie Badgley comes knocking on Stevenson's front door. That'll end Gaynor's day, and we'll go, and there will be a pitching change. We'll tell you all about it right as I get my voice back. You're listening to Blue Devil Baseball right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus.
Thomas Beardman.
We have a new hurler for the Patriots. Brady Rosencrans steps in as Tommy Beardman steps in. Blue Devils take a lead thanks to a 2-run inside the park home run by Charlie Badgley. There is a new right fielder in the game as Ben Fawcett looked to come out via an injury after chasing after Badgley's inside the park one hopper on the wall. Frankie Constamble takes over in right field as the new right fielder as Beardman takes a ball, 1-0 the count. Interesting decision for Clint Smothers and the Blue Devil coaching staff as Beardman takes a ball, 2-0's the count. Do you roll with Landon Theron in the 7th inning for a potential a win and hold as Beardman takes outside? That'll be ball 4. Or do you bring in Justin Kretz, who has been warming multiple times so far tonight? So Beardman is aboard with a walk. Shills will step in, 2 for 3 today, a double and a single to his name. Shills, the biggest power threat in terms of the stat sheet, as he fouls in and out of the catcher Morelli's glove. Rosencrans only on for the 3rd time this season. Pitched for the Patriots at the varsity level last year. Pitched in conference and I believe in the regional final last year against the Blue Devils. The 0-1 delivery is grounded to the right side. That'll get into right field. Beardman will hold at second base, and Shills is aboard with another knock, his 3rd on the day.
At bat, number 26, Cole Clark.
As Cole Clark steps in, Clark again 3 for 4 today. My bad. I can't read my own handwriting. Clark is 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs here today. Runners at second and third as Rosencrans delivers a fastball in the outer third for a called strike. As I told you before, Blue Devils and Patriots never disappoints. Always 2 highly competitive schools with relatively the same size in terms of attendance, about 4,000 attend each school. The 0-1 from Rosencrans, up the middle. It's off Rosencrans and going to center field. Beardman's being sent around home. The throw to the plate is cut off. Beardman scores. Cole Clark aboard with his 3rd RBI as the Blue Devils take a 6-4 lead here in the 6th inning. Now in steps Larson. Larson doubled his last time up off a gainer. Shills the runner on second. Clark the runner on first. Rosencrans still working. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Blue Devils have scored 3 times. The ball gets away from Morelli. Shills will go to third. They will throw to second, and Clark is caught stealing. Go 2-6 as Clark is thrown out at second base. As the Blue Devils take the lead, they will look to hold it here in the 7th inning. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Nick Palazzolo with you. It's been a fun ball game here at Warren for Stevenson. At Warren is Landon Theron in his third inning of work. Delivers a fastball on the outer third for a called strike to the catcher, Morelli. Morelli 1 for 3 today on the ledger. Jaquez re-enters, so he will take his position back at third, and so will Hall. As Theron misses and yanks a slider way outside. Morelli, Schultz, and DeLonga due up for the Blue Devils. Theron has been utilized as Warren's best option out of the bullpen, on for the 6th time this year. His third inning of work today. As he yanks another slider, the count will run to 2-1. Tony Font is playing in essentially short right field. He has both feet on the outfield grass at second base. Everybody else is essentially playing straight up. The 2-1 from Theron is swung on and missed for strike 2. 2-2 the count. Blue Devils up 2, 3 outs, and a handshake is all they need. The 2-2 delivery from Theron to Morelli. Slider misses off the outside corner. It'll run full, 3-2. Let's see if Theron, as Theron asks for another baseball, because apparently he couldn't be able to throw a slider with that baseball. I wonder the call here. Theron has thrown multiple 3-2 sliders so far. Let's see if they go back to the slider well once again. The 3-2. Fastball elevated, ball 4. So Morelli is aboard on a walk and will likely take over for a courtesy runner. It'll be number 5, Matthew Bressler.
Number 17, Brandon Schultz.
So Bressler takes over as the courtesy runner. At first base for Morelli, in step Schultz. As he takes a ball. Theron working quick pitch, a fastball, which apparently was not a strike. Jake Hall turns around and asks where that one missed. Bressler, the base runner on first, leads Stevenson in stolen bases with 4. Bressler represents the 5th run. Schultz represents the tying run. As there's a slider in there for a called strike, 2-1 the count. Sun has disappeared over the western horizon here at the Almond campus. Wind is still blowing out to right center. Theron delivers the quick pitch, and that is upstairs. 3-1 is the count. Theron, like I said, in his third inning of work, on for the 6th time this year. The 3-1, Theron to Schultz. Is a fastball in there for a called strike. Schultz looked like he really should have had that one. So the count will run full. Bressler, the runner on first. Schultz, the batter. Theron comes set, delivers. Fastball fouled straight back. He's right on that fastball. We'll see what they do once again. 3-2. They threw a 3-2 fastball elevated to Morelli. Let's see the call for Theron. He comes set at the belt. The kick, the pitch. Fastball fouled just out past the Blue Devil dugout. That'll get out of play. We will do the full count once again. So the 3-2 once more from Schultz to DeLong, or from Theron to Schultz. Fouled back again. We will do the full count once more. The 3-2 once again. Schultz not going out without a fight. The 3-2 from Theron is a fastball in off the plate for ball 4. Schultz draws a walk on a very, very close pitch. Hall thought it was good enough to be strike 3. So back-to-back walks here in the 7th inning. The tying run is aboard as DeLonga steps in. As it looks like we will have a pinch runner at second base. It'll be Takuma Sakamoto at second base, so he will take over as a pinch runner at second base for Morelli. And then it looks like Bresler will come in and pinch hit for DeLonga here. So Bresler goes from being the courtesy runner for the catcher standing at second base with no outs here in the 7th inning to pinch hitting, representing the go-ahead run here in the 7th.
Now pinch hitting for the Patriots, number 5, Matthew Bresler.
So Bresler will pinch hit. Sakamoto represents the 5th run at second base, as Schultz is on first base representing the tying run. Bresler steps to the plate with his team down 2, no outs here in the top half of the 7th inning. Theron still working, comes set, and inside moves. Not in time. Won't even make a throw on Sakamoto. Trying to tip his hand for a potential bunt. Clark playing way in on the grass. Definitely Warren thinks a bunt situation. He squares around to bunt. He gets it down third base side, and he will be aboard with a hit. You could have not placed that bunt in a better situation. He bunted it practically to the shortstop Shills. Shills went over to cover second base. Font went to first. Clark came in. Landon Theron's the pitcher. His responsibility was the third base side, but it was bunted back too hard. As we will have a mound visit here. And maybe a pitching change. The Blue Devils have had Kretz warming. And it looks like we will have a pitching change here for the Blue Devils. We have a high leverage moment coming up here in the 7th inning. Bases loaded, nobody outs. We'll come right back here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus where we have a good contest brewing. Patriots have loaded the bases with nobody out. Justin Kretz on for just the third time in a save and high leverage situation. 2 2/3 for Kretz, supporting a 6.36 earned run average so far, and the moment doesn't get any bigger. No outs, bases loaded, and in steps a pinch hitter. It'll be Mackenzie Delavitt pinch hitting for Fawcett as Kretz delivers up and away for a ball. Kretz working out of the stretch, wearing a black arm sleeve on his right throwing hand. As there's a fastball inside that is fouled towards the Stevenson dugout and will ricochet down the line. That'll even things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nowhere to put the batter Delavitt. Sakamoto the runner on third, Schultz the runner on second, Bressler the runner on first. As there is a fastball on the outer third, everybody thought that there was a strike except the plate umpire, and that is a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls and 1 strike to the batter Delavitt. Kretz kicks and delivers. Foul pop back towards the plate, and that'll get out of play. So that'll even things up to 2-2. And a big pitch coming here from Kretz. As I mentioned earlier, there are very few situations where you feel like you need a strikeout, but this could be a big one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kretz to Delavitt. Kretz shakes off the first 2 signs. He likes the third one from Hall. The kick and delivers the 2-2. Fastball just off the plate. It'll be a full count. Once that pitch was just off the plate, Blue Devils thought they had at least out number 1. The 3-2 delivery from Kretz is a fastball just off the plate, and he walks in a run. Patriots get within 1. The score is 6-5.
Now batting the shortstop, number 8, J.R. Nelson.
As Nelson steps in, for the 5th time today. So Sakamoto scores, Schultz over to third, Bressler to second. As Nelson puts one into right field, that'll be a base hit. 1 run is in. In comes the second run to the plate. There is a play. He is safe. The Patriots take a 7-6 lead here in the top half of the 7th inning, thanks to a 2-run single from J.R. Nelson.
Now batting number 3, Michael Belbot.
So Patriots started this inning down by 2 runs, have taken a 1-run lead as there's a bunt. Right back to the pitcher, Kretz. He falls down, throws on to first. He is not in time as they thought they have him. So the bases are once again loaded on for a bunt single from Schmidtke.
3, Joe Richardson.
As the bases are loaded once again for their 3-hitter, Joe Richardson. And they've got nowhere to put him. Blue Devils still looking for 1 out. The score is 7-6. It is getting dark here at the Almond campus. As that pitch is a fastball spiked from Kretz. There is a potential situation that we have here. If this game does get called for darkness without the completion of the 7th inning, the score would revert to the 3rd inning, or back to what it was at the 6th inning with the Blue Devils up 2. As Richardson has a healthy hack at a fastball to even things up at 1-1. As the Blue Devils send somebody down to their bullpen, it will be Noah Peterson going to get loose in the bullpen. as Krutz delivers an inside fastball for a called strike. Important for Krutz to try to limit the damage as much as he can. The 1-2, Krutz to Richardson. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A big first out for Justin Krutz as the bases are still loaded, but at least a double play potentially ends the inning.
Now batting number 2, Chris Iannuzzi.
As Chris Iannuzzi steps in. Iannuzzi in with the bases loaded as he takes a curveball in there for a called strike. In this situation, if you're pitching in a high leverage spot, you just got to focus on getting the first strike. Patriots have scored 3 times here in the 7th inning. Krutz delivers the curveball, swung on and missed for a strike 2. So 0-2 the count to Richardson. Blue Devils trying to do Krutz doing his best to limit the damage. The no ball and 2 strike count. Krutz delivers, swung on and missed, strike 3. He takes an awful swing at a slider and a back-to-back swinging strikeouts on the slider as the bases are now loaded with 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th inning as Belbot steps in. Belbot grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his last time aboard. As he fouls one, that one hit the top of the screen and shot back over. Blue Devils looking ahead to the bottom half of the inning. We'll have Larson, Font, and Jaquez due up for the Blue Devils. The 0-1 delivery is a front door slider that misses inside. Blue Devils coaching staff has voiced their displeasure with the strike zone today. 1-1 is the count. Elevated slider misses badly. 2-1 the count. Hall comes out to the mound as Krutz ties his shoes. We have played just a little bit over 2 hours here. It is 7:10 local time. About 2 hours and 15 minutes of game time has elapsed so far. But we will run into a potential darkness situation, potentially. The 2-1, the count is 2-1. Krutz to the batter, Belbot. He comes, sets, and delivers the 2-1 is a fastball with a little extra MPH on it as Belbot swings through it. The count is 2-2, and Krutz is 1 pitch away from limiting the damage. The 2-2 delivery from Krutz with the bases loaded and 2 away. He overamps the fastball. It gets away from Hall. Hall slides, and that'll get away as another run will come in to score as Krutz spiked a fastball, kind of overamped on a 2-2 count and just kind of threw it as hard as he could, and he spiked it, and the ball got away from Hall. That left Delavitt coming in to score. Patriots have scored 4 runs this inning. Nelson advances to third. Schmidtke, the runner, on second. Patriots have a 2-0 lead. The 3-2 pitch delivery is fouled straight back. We will do it once more. 7 total runs have been scored in the last 2 half innings. For this inning, Blue Devils scored 3 to take the lead in the bottom half of the 6th. The 3-2 from Krutz gets away from Hall. It'll bounce towards the first base dugout as another run will come in to score on a wild pitch or pass ball. Patriots extend their lead 9-6 as nothing seems to be going right for the Blue Devils in this half inning. So first and third for the Patriots. Krutz, the pitcher. In steps the batter. It'll be Luca Morelli who will re-enter. Morelli steps in for the second time this inning. Got the Patriot charge started with a leadoff walk, which has led to a 5-run inning here in the top half of the 7th. The 1-0 delivery misses again to make it 2-0. And you got to think for Kretz, he's running down towards the end of this day if he can't get out of this inning. 2-0 the count. Kretz to Morelli. Kretz able to report 2 strikeouts, but not before runs have scored, as there is a slider that misses upstairs. As it looks like Noah Peterson is jogging in from the bullpen, and he will likely have the next batter if Morelli is able to reach here. The 3-0 from Kretz misses badly. Ball 4, back pick down to third, and that was a very dangerous throw by Hall, because if that throw gets into left field, another run will come in to score.
Now batting number 17.
So the bases will be loaded once again as Morelli reaches on another walk, his second walk this inning. As Peterson has now resumed throwing in the bullpen, the bases loaded as Schultz once again will bat for the second time this inning. He scored the tying run earlier this top half of the inning. The bases are loaded, 2 outs, back pick to third, and he is safe. Blue Devils tried to run a pick to third base, but the runner was able to get back there in time. As there is another misfire for Kretz. Kretz already threw 27 deliveries so far, 3 free passes, 2 strikeouts. The 1-0 delivery to Schultz is a slider in there for a called strike to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Devils had a lead coming into this inning, but have given up 5 runs in the top half of the inning. And there's a slider. That ball will get away from Hall as another run will come in to score. I believe the 3rd run to come in to score via a pass ball or wild pitch, as Hall not able to corral it and block it, as the Patriots now have taken a 10-6 lead. So that was Schmidtke who scored. Belbot will advance to third base, and Morelli is at second. As that ball will get out again. Correction, that'll be Sakamoto, who will courtesy run for Morelli. The 2-1 delivery from Kretz to Schultz. Correction, 3-1. That pitches on a called strike. 3-2 the count. Runners will not be going with no runner on first base. Runners on second and third. A big pitch for Kretz. The 3-2 delivery. Fastball in there for a called strike 3. Blue Devils have a lot of work to do. Came into the 7th inning up 2. Now go to the bottom half of the inning down 4. Need 4 to tie, 5 to win. You'll get the ending right here, one way or another, right here on your home for the Blue Devils on the Blue Devil Radio Network. Welcome back to the Almond Road campus. Blue Devils have blown their 2-run lead here in the 7th, giving up a 6th spot in the top half of the 7th. Blue Devils now have 3 outs to play with, down 4. As Rosencrantz still working, misses to Larson outside, and definitely the philosophy, if you're Warren, of take until you get a strike. Do not get yourself out if you don't have to, with every at-bat being precious. As there is a ball, again, 2-0 the count. Blue Devils are not unfamiliar being down 4 going into the last inning against Stevenson. As there is a called strike, 2-1 is the count. Blue Devils went in down 4 into the 7th inning. In last year's regional championship game, were able to put up a 4 spot and force extra innings. That game went 10 innings long. I can guarantee you we will not play 10 innings tonight. The 3-1 delivery, a fastball on the outer third, called strike 2, and that'll run into a full count. The 3-2 delivery from Rosencrantz to Larson, that misses outside. Ball 4 as Larson is aboard. Larson is aboard here in the 7th with a base on balls. Font and then Jaquez due up for the Blue Devils. Belbot playing in on the grass at third base, thinking for a bunt. As there is a called strike, I do not think Warren will be bunting here, especially in this situation. Not in a situation when you have 3 outs to play with, down 4 runs to tie. As there is a ball, the count will be even up at 1-1. Larson, the runner, on first. His run means nothing to Stevenson. 1-1 delivery from Rosencrantz at the belt on the outer third for called strike. Clint Smothers thought that ball was up, and he made sure to let the plate umpire aware of that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rosencrantz to Font, as Font is able to foul back towards the screen, towards the Patriot dugout, to see one more pitch. One ball and 2 strikes to Font. As Font goes down swinging on an elevated heater outside. 1 away. Blue Devils still down 4. 2 outs to play with.
Albert Jaquez.
Jaquez steps in after being pinch hit for in the 6th inning. He was pinch hit for Keldberg. Keldberg drew a walk in this spot in the order last inning. The 1-0 delivery misses down and out for ball 2. 2-0 is the count. Larson, the runner, on first. No real speed threat there. As the 2-0 delivery is a fastball taken on the outer third. And we're getting it to a scenario where the scoreboard is much brighter than the sky here at the Almond campus. 2 balls and 1 strike, and Jaquez has a healthy cut to even things up at 2-2 the count. The 2-2 delivery from Rosencrantz to Jaquez is fouled straight back. If I had a glove, I might have been able to make a play on that one. So we have Sports Center updates apparently coming through on my iPad. The 2-2 delivery from Rosencrantz. Almost a balk there from what it seemed like, as the 2-2 delivery was taken outside. It is a 3-2 and no bigger pitch right now for either side. The 3-2 from Rosencrantz to Jaquez, and Jaquez is able to stay on the fastball and foul it straight back. Anytime you see a player foul a fastball straight back or any pitch straight back, that means their timing is usually pretty good. The 3-2 once more from Rosencrantz to Jaquez is an elevated heater. Jaquez could not hold up. He will go down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Kyle Bender.
Back-to-back strikeouts for the Blue Devils. As Kyle Bender steps in. As he takes a called strike. Larson, the runner on first, 2 outs. Blue Devils need 4 runs, all with 1 out to play with. As there is a fastball high and tight. One and one the count. Rosencrantz to Bender as there's a fastball at the belt for strike 2. Blue Devils have not liked the plate umpire's strike zone all day, and that has not changed right now as the 1-2 delivery is missed upstairs for ball 2. Rosencrantz tried to get the 3rd consecutive Blue Devil batter to go down swinging via the elevated fastball. The delivery from Rosencrantz to Bender is high. As the count runs full. 3-2, 2 outs as Bender takes high and tight. That'll be ball 4.
Now batting number 9, Jake Hall.
So Bender aboard on the free pass. Larson will move into second as Jake Hall stays in. Hall has 2 base hits on the year, one of them coming in the 4th inning of today's ball game. As silence takes over the Allman campus, that silence is broken with a called strike. Warren's philosophy right now is take until you get a strike. As I mentioned before, Larson the runner on second, Bender the runner on first, and Hall takes a second strike and did not like that called strike. The 0-2 delivery. Blue Devils down to their last strike here in the 7th. Is swung on and missed for strike 3. The Patriots come back from a deficit to win the ball game. Blue Devils had a 6-4 lead entering the 7th inning, but were unable to hold it.
10 runs on 9 hits, no errors.
Patriots were the better team in the second part of this game, scoring 6 runs in the 7th inning. Blue Devils back in action on Friday at home against Deerfield. 4:45 first pitch, which means a 4:40 pregame right here on the Blue Devil Radio Network. I thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Blue Devils not a victor here. They split with Stevenson 1-1. They'll play Deerfield on Friday, and then I believe Lake Zurich next week for their next matchup of conference. I'm Nick Palazzolo. Thank you for tuning in. So long, everybody.
The next game for the Patriots will be tomorrow, the 12th, with the home game versus